Just said it, yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
All right, Ms. Bouygues will be joining us shortly. So why don't we get started and with the introduction? So what time is it now? Let me call this meeting to order at 7:08 p.m. So
You need a note taker.
well, that was the I'll share the agenda. I think that was one of the point in our agenda. Okay, I'll share my screen a little bit here and we'll go to.
There you go, covering everything on my screen.
Okay. Call to order, assignment of minute taker. Well, I want to do the welcome first and then an introduction because we have a few people here today. Well, some of them for the first time because we're supposed to have a couple of presentations today. Why don't everybody start by introducing themselves? So who would like to start? Courtney? We'll start with you.
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Courtney Loisel, and I am a CB9 board member.
You could pass it on to the next person. Just pick somebody.
Okay, I'll pick Marley.
Hi, everybody. I would call myself an unofficial board member, even though I'd love to be part of it. But I work for the Prospect Park Zoo with community engagement and research.
Would you pick the next person, Marley?
Yes, I will popcorn to Naima.
Hello, everyone. My name is Naima Wood, and I am a committee member. And I'm going to pass it to Brenda.
Hi, Naima. Hi, everybody. Brenda Pagan, resident community member for the past few years. I don't know what else you need to know.
Gardner.
Teacher, retired teacher, but still a teacher, forever a teacher. Happy to be here. And I will pass it on to who I can see on my screen, which is Julia Bryant.
Hi, I'm Julia Bryan. I'm a member of the Parks and Recreation Committee. I've been a member for maybe 4 years now, and this committee has really flourished in the last couple of years. And I am a retired paralegal and community activist. And I'm going to pass it on to Keisha.
Hi everybody. My name is Keisha Barry. I'm a photographer and artist in New York City. I am one half of the Hey Neighbor NYC project that my colleague Jasmine, who I'll popcorn to next, will be talking about a little later on in your agenda.
Thank you.
Hi
Yes,
everyone. I'm Jasmine Cheng, other half of the Hey Neighbor NYC project. And yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about ourselves in the meeting, but I want to thank you all for having us here as guests tonight. And I will popcorn to Khalid.
Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. My name is Khalid Jamaat. I'm community associate here at Brooklyn Community Board 9. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to reach out to me at the board office. Thank you. I'm gonna pass it over to Dwayne Joseph.
Good evening, everyone. Dwayne Joseph, neighbor of Community Board 9. I'm actually a member of Community Board 14 and co-chair a few committees over there in a task force, and former colleague of Khalid Jamaat and former representative to CB9 for the Office of the Assemblywoman, former Assemblywoman Diana Richardson. I'm here tonight just showing support for the folks at Hey Neighbor. I'm looking forward to their presentations of board, and I hope you guys enjoy what they have to present in the project that they're working on.
I think that's everyone. We are on the list.
Not you. You gotta go, Nicholas.
Oh, all right, nobody could come to me. Okay. I am Nicholas Almono. I'm the chair for the Park Recreation Committee of Community Board 9 and also a member at large. So I'm chairing this meeting today. And we have a lot to cover and I'll stop for that for now. Seeing that, so let's go back to the agenda because it was supposed to be 2 presentations. Let's see. It was supposed to be presentation Department of Cultural Affairs. If they're not here today, most likely going to be in June. So why don't we go about now and choose somebody to take the notes, and then we'll start with the agenda. Do we have any volunteer for note taking? Any member of the committee would like to take notes for us this evening? Because we decided to do it on a voting basis.
I could take the notes, Mr. Almanar.
All right, thank you, Khalid. All right, so that is all. So now let's look at the minutes. Everybody with the committee should have with a copy of the minutes. I'm going to share my screen and show some of it. Okay, here. Yeah. Let's go share. Okay, this is the minutes for April. We could quickly review that.
Can you make it bigger?
Oh, I'm going to try. Yeah, I think so. How about that? Is this okay?
Fine.
Is this good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I make a motion to accept the what is that? The April minutes?
April
Is that
minutes.
March or April?
This is April.
April. I make a motion to accept the April minutes as is. Brenda, you took some?
No, Khalid did it, I believe.
I think you did.
I second the motion to accept the minute.
Submitted by Khalid. So she second. Is there any changes or any? Anybody have any changes? If
No.
any.
Who was that Westerly? Who was that Westerly person named at the beginning? Teresa?
Oh, Teresa. You know Teresa.
She's
Oh.
a member.
A board member.
Okay, she was talking about changing the park then.
Yes.
That mini park. Yeah, the mini park by
Yeah.
Western Beef.
Right. She's a member of the environmental committee, the board member. Okay.
Good. Okay.
So
let's accept the minutes.
All right. So can I request anonymous consent to accept the minute?
Yes.
All
We
right.
have to vote.
Yes, I was saying, are there any all in favor? Let's do it by voice vote. All in favor? Notify by saying aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Any abstention? Seeing none, any abstention? Okay.
We don't have a chat, but we do have reactions
You
and
could reaction, you could raise your hands and stuff like that. Yeah. Oh, how you feel, yeah. So seeing no opposed, no attention, the minutes are approved. Okay. Let's move on to the next item in the agenda, which is
Okay.
presentation. Since we don't have anybody from the Department of Cultural Affairs, so we would like to move straight to Hey Neighbor. So you guys have the floor, and now you could start with what your presentation.
Thank you. Can I share my screen?
Uh,
I have,
Yes, possible. Oh, Khalid, could you make a co-host to allow her to share her screen?
You should be able to share your screen now.
Thank you, Khalid. Yeah. All right, can you all see that?
Yes. Mhm.
Excellent.
We'll start with introductions. So I'm Jasmine Chang. I'm an artist and a cultural organizer, and my what I do with as an artist is work with neighborhoods, work with community to create collaborative public art projects that are all about bringing people together. I'm also, until recently, was a resident in Fort Greene, so pretty involved in CB2 and particularly in parks there. So member of Friends of Commodore Barry Park and the Fort Greene Park Conservancy. And so, yeah, just really, really love parks and especially what you all do on this committee.
Hi, my name is Keisha. I'm a local photographer, an artist, and a storyteller, and I predominantly work with nonprofits and with in the social justice realm. So that's and I do community projects like this with Jasmine. So Jasmine, do you want to kick it off?
Yeah. So today we're going to share a little bit about our project, Hey Neighbor NYC, and then also a proposal to put on an exhibition of this project in Parkside Plaza. So, and yeah, we'll share it all, and we would love to just chat a little bit and also get your feedback. So Hey Neighbor NYC is a project led and started by myself and Kisha. We've been working together collaboratively for over 10 years. And this is our newest project. And so Hey Neighbor New York City connects New Yorkers across cultural communities and boroughs using what we know: photography, storytelling, and public art. So you can go to our website to learn some more. It's heyneighbor.nyc. But in summary, the reason that we created Hey Neighbor was out of a desire to build connections across the city. Because sometimes, though we all live in the same city, though we all live in New York City, it can feel like we're together but not connected, especially after the isolation of the pandemic. So what we did was, and you can go to the next slide, we spent many months connecting with over 40 cultural organizations and hubs in neighborhoods in all 5 boroughs. And each of these community organizations nominated someone in their community who they saw as a connector, somebody who brought people together, people who they felt really represented a perspective of their culture, neighborhood, or borough, people that they really wanted to put up to be celebrated and connect with others citywide. So Dwayne Joseph was actually one of the connectors who was nominated by Little Caribbean. And last October, we met Dwayne at our workshops. He very courageously stepped out of his comfort zone to meet a stranger at one of our storytelling workshops. And in that afternoon, created a photographic portrait. He was actually behind the camera taking photos and also in front of the camera having photos taken of him. And this whole workshop was designed to really help strangers across the city learn a deeper connection and understanding of one another through photography. So why Hey Neighbor in Flatbush and why we're here? So since we did this workshop and we've created all these amazing portraits and stories of people around the city, Kish and I have been fundraising with the mission to put these stories up, one exhibition in each borough. And earlier this year, we received a small grant from the Association for a Better New York, ABNY, and they gave us funding to produce an exhibition that supports local business districts and builds community. So when we got that, we reached out to Dwayne. We stay pretty connected to everyone who is part of our workshops. And Dwayne suggested Parkside Plaza and a few other locations in Flatbush. We visited the location with Dwayne in February, and it's such an amazing location, being in central Brooklyn, being right by Prospect Park, being right off the subway stop, and being a place that Friends of Parkside Plaza and the community have really been doing programming. We just think it would be a really lovely space to be able to put up some of these stories and have lots of people see them. And also to think about how the art exhibition up in that space can support some of the organizations who nominated people and local businesses in the area. So with that, I'll pass it to Kisha to talk a little bit more in detail about what we're proposing.
Unmute myself. So we want to just show you something of our past work so you can get an idea of what some of the things we do or we have done that is relevant to this. We did a project in Winston-Salem, North Carolina called the Winston-Salem Portrait Project, and we were commissioned by the city to produce permanent sculptures. But alongside those permanent sculptures, we also produced a pop-up exhibit of temporary structures with the artwork of our connectors same as our connectors in New York City. So here's an example of what these structures look like in Winston Square Park. And we want to do something similar in Parkside Plaza. And here is an example of the work that was exhibited on those structures. As you can see, the portraits of our connectors are featured, our connectors are featured along with their stories and their text. There will be a QR code on them for viewers to access further content. We'll have multiple languages and we'll have audio stories as well. It's a full multimedia project. And so here is a mock-up of Parkside Plaza. Sorry, I'm looking at my other screen. And this is the bird's eye view of the plaza, and these pink triangle things are the structures. There will be, we are hoping for them to be triangular just because it's easier to navigate around them in a small space. And we're looking to have 3 to 5 in that space. And each will be weighted down with concrete blocks, so they can't be moved, they won't blow away, and they are mostly vandalism proof. So this is another mock-up that I've done in Photoshop. My perspective's a little off, but you get the idea. So they're approximately about 4 feet by 6 feet high, and the visuals are printed on weatherproof canvas or vinyl, sorry. So we would also like your permission to host at least one public event to open the exhibition, and that will include panel discussions from our connectors, performances from local community organizations, local vendors, and possibly a mini version of our workshop for the public to experience. So this is our production overview. Once we gain your permission and we can set a date, we'll apply for the plaza permit with the city. They will then design the artwork with the portraits and the stories, and install. We're hoping for a week in the fall of this year to install 3 to 5 structures, and yes, and hopefully 1 to 2 events that engage the public. So, and the questions that we have for you are, do you have any suggestions navigating the permitting? Because I'm sure you've had to permit things in the past. if you can, we really love you to recommend any local groups or organizations or businesses that we can partner with. And when you have space for us, hopefully.
And we also want to just be open for any questions that you have for us of our project or process, what we're thinking.
I'm wondering about how long will these triangular structures be up? You said a few weeks, or?
We're hoping for 1 week.
Oh, just for 1 week?
Yeah, I mean, if we had more of a budget, we would keep them up longer if you were, you were open to that. But at this point, 1 week is probably realistic at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have been on this committee a very long time, and I have never had anyone come and say that they needed a permit from us, because I don't think that this committee has the jurisdiction to get a permit. I think what we have to do is we make a motion to have this raised at the general board for CB9, and then they would give you permission to do it one way or the other. And then the secondary thing that I like to add is I looked at the organizations, and quite frankly, I didn't recognize anyone from this end of CB9. There seemed to be the northern end of CB9 and not sort of the Crown Heights-ish part of CB9. And so we have a group that is very prominent in the city. They're called Movement to Protect the People. And they protected the Botanic Garden from getting shade. And we won a court case. And the leader of it is called Alicia Boyd. Her name is Alicia Boyd. She's not called Alicia, she's Alicia Boyd. And that it would be wonderful if you wanted to include her or a representative or someone from that group, because because exactly the reasons I said. Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Something that we are hoping that this series of exhibitions does is allows us to kind of continue outreach to reach out to more participants so that we can host more workshops in the future. So I think at this point for this exhibition, it would be the people who participated in last October's workshop, but this is an opportunity, like through meetings like this and through having it up, that we're hoping that more people can learn of it, more people can kind of suggest and nominate organizations to participate in a future workshop. So Alicia would be like a fantastic person to connect with for that.
How did you choose this space, the Parkside Plaza, as the place where you wanted to set up? Did I miss that?
Yeah, when we got the grant to do an exhibition from the Association for a Better New York, the focus of the grant was really to think of looking at like a commercial thoroughfare, an area that had lots of local businesses. And I think we took that information and we thought about the people who had been participants in our project, and the first person that came to mind who works in that sort of space was Dwayne. And so with Dwayne, I think we saw a couple of locations around Flatbush. We kind of did a tour of like Newkirk Plaza, of the space outside, I forget the name of the like Flatbush Caton Marketplace, and also Parkside Plaza. And I think Parkside Plaza just really stood out because of how many people walk through this space, that it's right by the subway, right by the park. And like we could really envision in that space of the plaza, putting this artwork up and having it be just a really good like interactive space for other people to meet and connect with these stories.
Thank you.
Nicholas, do you have a question?
Yes, I have a couple of questions and a couple of suggestions. I don't know if I'm muted. Hold on, just give me a moment.
Oh, we can hear you fine.
Oh, you can hear me fine? Okay.
Can you go back a slide on your presentation?
Yes,
Well,
which slide would you like to look at?
I don't know, go back one.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Then,
Yeah.
okay. Now, what I think to the work of this committee, first we need to vote in this committee to see this is something we're going to recommend to the general board. And we've been doing a lot of work toward artistic work. I don't see any problem. This is being recommended to do that. But we have a few other organizations that have come and presented to this community. We can help you in the reach out in the list of organizations we have here. And my other question is it possible to have this particular exhibit in more than one place within CB9? The reason I'm saying that, we just, the Department of Transportation just constructed a new plaza on next to the Western Beef. We're talking about Empire, Washington.
Yes,
In a blank space, which is right next to the train station. I was looking, was it possible to also have that particular presentation there? Actually, this particular plaza have not yet been inaugurated. That may be something we can talk later and see if could work out for a specific date. And just bring the same or different presentation within that brand new plaza that's just been constructed within CB9. And that's the question I have, because what I would like to see is maybe we will have we'll have other meetings with you and planning such activities.
Yeah, that's a really interesting idea. I think, do you know when the plaza is opening?
Well, they just finished it, the physical work. So then we can go ahead and find, I don't have that exact information yet, but that information we definitely will find out.
Do you have, sorry to cut you off, but do you have, what's the name of the plaza? And do you know if there are any photos of it online that we could just sort of research initially to see if it was
It's a brand new, I'm gonna look up.
I have a photo because we
have a
discussed it
picture of
at
it?
another meeting. Yeah, let me see if I can pull it up. Okay.
Thank you so much.
And it has a name. Nicholas, you know the
He has a
of
name,
it.
I was just about to bring the name up.
Yeah, okay. Nicholas will look up the name and I'm gonna look up the picture.
Okay, let me look.
and while they're looking for that,
Yeah, go ahead.
duration of 1 week in the fall, what do you mean by the fall? Fall is, a season, 3 months.
Well, we left it broad because we didn't know what other activities or events that you had going on in the plaza. So ideally it would be September, mid-September. But again, like, we are very flexible, as long as, we need to be in line with the grant from ABNY. We just need to put something up this year. So but we figured the weather is nicer in the fall than it is in the winter, and we may not have we have a lot of production to do, so the summer is not, and there's a short timeline. So anytime in the fall, that you have space for us, we would be really appreciative.
And the 1 to 2 events that engage the public, would those be during that week, prior to that week? What
Absolutely. Well, so we would 100% have a opening event. So it would probably be the first day that the exhibit is open, and have quite a few of the connectors come, maybe host a panel about community connection and maybe inter-borough organizing. And we have a long list of topics that we could host a panel on, but we also would love vendors and food and maybe performances from local local organizations to have that opening. And if we have enough budget, we'd love to have a closing event too, but that's yet to be decided.
Or let me, yeah, okay. But I think this is something we, let me see, hold on.
It looks like, Dwayne, do you have your hand raised?
Yeah, go ahead, Ray. Mhm.
I do. If I could just make more of a comment or a statement. Participating in this project, you know, I was recommended by an organization to participate in this project, and initially didn't understand what it entailed. I didn't know it was going to be public facing. And I, like many of you, you get up every day and you take your personal time after work, on weekends, doing whatever, and you do it for the better of the community, right? One of the things I discovered in participating in this project is, that there are people like us doing this work all over the city. And sometimes, we just kind of work in our own bubbles and we forget that there are other people out there doing it. And, we often, most times, don't ask for recognition. And I don't think anyone here or that participated in the project asked for recognition. I certainly didn't. But it gave me an opportunity to kind of take a step back and look at the work that we do as community, as people who are engaged in our community. And I think, CB9's support of a project like this, like Jasmine and Keisha said, could lead to, in the long term, kind of a cataloging of some of the local people that do things every single day that, you don't often hear about. And we don't, and then the people that don't often look for pats on the back or recognition or anything like that. But what really came out of it for me was the opportunity to meet other people doing the kind of work that I do, which is, and the kind of work that you guys do, which is taking the time to help our communities grow and evolve and develop and be great spaces to live and just have opportunity to grow. I hope that the committee will take into consideration the long-term prospects or possibilities that this project can bring. Like Jasmine and Keisha said, there's opportunity if this is supported and amplified, that they can do more. They could do it again. And that means focusing on another resident or another part of CB9. I know for me, for instance, the Parkside Plaza, I'm a co-founder of the plaza, which is one of the reasons why the site was easy to select. Some of the other spaces that we looked at were further down in my community board, which is CB14, but I'm a neighbor of the plaza, live around the corner from the plaza. I just feel there's an opportunity here for one, Central Brooklyn to get highlighted, because I think often we don't get highlighted unless it's something negative. And we have a lot of beautiful people here. And the opportunity to tell a couple of the stories, whether it's now or later on, I think is something that we shouldn't look past. I know for sure that I hope there's an opportunity to do more of this. I've had the great opportunity in working and living in this community for a long time. I know Crown Heights, East Flatbush, Flatbush, Midwood. I've been in and around all these places. I went to IS 320, I've been in and out of this neighborhood for my entire adult life. And oftentimes we don't get a chance to just highlight how great a community we are. We get other people coming in and talking about, things outside the community. but we don't often get to amplify the things and the people that are beautiful about Central Brooklyn. And I think this is an opportunity to do that. So I hope the committee will take that into consideration when making a decision tonight and hopefully presenting to the broader or the greater board later on.
All right, thank you, Dwayne, for this. But I just want to ask you one question. I mean, it's more than one question, and also present some of the work we're doing within this committee. Were you involved into the mural that was posted on Parkside next, right on the wall of the Walgreens Parkside in Flatbush?
No, I was not directly involved.
But you've seen it, which is something somewhat similar
Yes,
to what you
I
did,
met-
but it's a permanent installation on there.
Correct. So I met the young ladies that were doing that. A few of my neighbors were involved in that. Actually, one of the, another co-founder of the plaza was in, or not so much co-founder, but like the Parkside Plaza Committee is an all volunteer group. It's neighbors that rotate in and out. And part of the initial group that, you know, of about 6 to 9 people that, you know, led the charge to get the plaza going initially and got it off the ground.
Okay.
You know, been with it from before day one.
Mm-hmm.
But again, this is more about just an opportunity. I would love for people to get an opportunity, like Keisha and Jasmine said, to actually participate in the workshop I participated back in October.
All
Like,
right.
meeting
Wonderful.
neighbors from around the city that are doing work. I mean, I met some amazing folks.
Okay, well, that was my question. It seems to me there's a process that involves the workshop and then the project. Is that the way it works? Can you guys
Would
give
you-
me more information about that?
Yeah, I can elaborate on the workshop for sure. So you were asking Julia earlier about the organizations, and you didn't recognize any of the organizations that were on our list. So our process was we spent 6 months researching over 60 neighborhoods, cultural enclaves all around New York City. And these cultural enclaves have many, many different organizations that represent them. And these cultural enclaves are from our newest immigrants in New York City to generations old, enclaves of cultural communities that have supported each other for hundreds of years. So we have all of these communities that we did lots of research on. We researched almost over 600 different organizations in all of these communities all around New York City. And from those organizations, from all of these neighborhoods, we kind of just reached out to hundreds of them and asked them to nominate a community member that they would support in coming to this workshop. And as you can understand, maybe that, we reached out to a lot of these people cold and we never got responses, and we didn't get like people who we thought that we were spam. And then we found 40 organizations that gave us the time to connect a connector in their community like Dwayne. And they sent these brave people along who didn't know what they really signed up for to our workshop in October. And the workshop consists of, we had 2 because we can't have too many people in one room. So we had one on a Saturday, one on a Sunday, and these we facilitate them to work in groups to talk to each other about their communities. This is across all 5 boroughs. Talk to each other about their organizing, the things that they love, the people that they love, what's important to them about their communities. We then, after they talk a lot in groups, I give them a quick photo workshop, and then we pair them up so that they can find out a little bit more about each other. They storytell to one another, and they get to know each other better. And that leads to a really intimate setting in the photo studio where they learn so much about each other that they can create meaningful portraits of one another. And those portraits are created. I'm just going to go back to, these are from Winston-Salem. These are not from the New York workshop, but these portraits are made from getting to know each other for even just a short amount of time, but showing how deep connection can be made in such a short amount of time if you just give each other a chance to listen to each other's stories. So that is how we created this project, and all of the artwork that was created by our connectors will be displayed. So all of the photos that took of each other, that Dwayne had a partner, Annie, and Annie photographed Dwayne photographed Annie, and then those portraits of each other will be presented along with their stories about why they chose to photograph each other in that way, what they admire about that person, what they learned about that person that day. And then they're also photographed together. As you can see in this slide, they're photographed and they are familiar with each other, and they become connected, and it's a really beautiful thing to watch, and it's over the course of 4 hours. So that's the general sum up of what happens and how we got to where we're at.
Oh, well, yeah, that's clarified a lot of things for me. I don't know if anybody else wants to chime in before I have a couple more questions. Anybody else? My understanding, this picture are picture of people that represent the that community that come and meet in a workshop, and they take each other's pictures, and that's what becomes the exhibit in their neighborhood.
That's right.
So the first step, if you were to do this project here, what we will do this project here is to get a group of people to meet together, get them connected. They take each other's picture, and then those pictures will be the one that exhibited in those triangles.
The pictures that will be exhibited in the triangles in Parkside Plaza, if this is the location that's selected, will be the photographs that Dwayne, of the workshop that Dwayne was involved in October.
Oh,
they won't be new,
so
and they won't be put, because it takes months for us to collate all of the artwork and the audio stories and everything, you know, it takes a long time to produce all of the work that comes out of that workshop. What we hope by presenting these portraits in Flatbush and presenting these stories is that would inspire people who walk by, who read the stories, to step out of their comfort zone and maybe connect with somebody new from a different borough, explore outside of their own community, and maybe welcome new people within their community. We also hope with our opening events to maybe implement a mini version of the workshop, so that strangers have an opportunity to be paired, and it's almost like speed dating. And then they get to take each other's photo, and then maybe take those photos home with them. And also attract funders so that we could possibly do a new cohort and host another workshop, because as you know, there are millions of people in New York City, and there are so many other stories that can be celebrated. So, and then maybe in a year's time, we get another exhibit in Flatbush with more people from your community and other communities to join.
So I got the gist of what you want to do. If I say it back to you, maybe then you'll understand if I understand. It's like a rolling project. So that neighborhood gets projected in this neighborhood gets projected into another neighborhood. Am I getting that right?
All the neighborhoods get, there's not one neighborhood that gets projected in your neighborhood. All of the connectors, all of the 36 participants from our October workshops will be presented in the neighborhood, including Dwayne, who is part of your neighborhood.
Okay, so it's more like a class. So the October class will be in this, and then the next, and then in October or in September, when we have it again, should we have it again, then that class will be someplace else, maybe in Lower East Side, right? Am I understanding?
So yeah, so this class from last October, because they are people from all 5 boroughs, we're looking to show this exhibition, one in each borough. So we're working on that right now. And once these are shown, I think that's this rolling process of like workshop, exhibition, then workshop, then exhibition. I think the way that it works together is each time we do a workshop, we have all of these amazing stories that we want to share as an exhibition. And every time the exhibition goes up, more people and more community organizations are hearing and learning about this project so that they can nominate someone for, say, like the October 2024 workshop.
Okay. Okay, so Nicholas, what I'm understanding, and when you present it to the executive board, should this get passed as a motion, that it really is not about us per se, it's about all the boroughs.
Right.
And what they're asking for is to be all the boroughs for this class to be in this site, in this particular neighborhood.
Correct.
So that our class of the people who would be representing us would be in another class, and they would be presented at another location altogether.
I'm not sure that that's what I'm hearing. Those people who are going to be represented on these triangles at Parkside Plaza, should it occur at Parkside Plaza or wherever it occurs, are people from all over, from all these different organizations in different boroughs. And the whole objective is to create more community, more connection by showing the people who pass by these triangles and stop and take a look at, look, this Chinese man is now connected with this African-American, and this Taiwanese is now connected with this Jewish person. This Senegalese person met and got to know whoever and whoever, and here are their stories, and here's what they're doing in their communities. And so that we can encourage one another to continue the community building, community work that we're already a part of, because all the people who are going to be exhibited are already engaged in community organizations, etc. Is that, am I getting that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, good.
It looks a lot like Photoville. So I see your hand.
Jasmine and I have
Okay,
done a lot of work with
I
her.
think
Okay,
I think we more or less got the gist of it. And
Okay.
because my first understanding, I thought it was going to be, this is already set. If let's say you're going to come back next year, where I was talking about this plaza, which is the what's called the Admiral Ramsey Memorial Triangle. So that's,
I can't find the picture, I'm sorry.
you can find, but that would be probably not this year, probably be in another year when you come back and you do it in another part of the community for all the people that participated in the next cohort. If let's say we want to, is that what? Yeah, so
Sure.
that's it for, okay. All right.
Yeah, we're totally
It's a
flexible.
guarantee.
Okay. So,
Okay, so wait a
I'm
minute, there's
thinking-
a secondary part. Don't you wanted to have someplace, you needed a location? Do you need a secondary location for the secondary part of this project? Did I understand that right?
For
Like
this
you're gonna put the
year,
show, you're gonna put the show on and it'll be in the plaza and then,
We
And
are also
then-
going to put this show on in every single other borough. So with Brooklyn, we will also have one in Queens. We'll also have one in Staten Island. We'll also have one in the Bronx and also one in Manhattan. Currently, we're concurrently with this Brooklyn exhibit, we are organizing one in Queens at the moment at the same time.
Is it the
the
same
same photographs?
stories?
Yes,
All will be in all 5
Oh,
boroughs
okay.
at the same time?
yes.
Okay, all right, okay.
yeah.
All right.
Have
So
you
that
ever done this
everybody
before?
from every borough can celebrate all of the people from all of the boroughs.
Have you ever done this before?
We've done,
Not here.
we've done.
Not in New York.
In New York, well, so I've worked with Photoville for the past decade or so. So I'm no longer working with them full time, but still very connected to that work. I've also, my work that has been shown most around New York City is the Community Heroes project, which has been in Fort Greene for the past 6 years and Bed-Stuy for the last 2 years. So highlighting local heroes. And so definitely doing public art in New York City. It's just that generally my work in the past has been more really based like within a neighborhood. And this is the first time, because of our intention of this project in connecting the city, we're really looking wide and looking at people from all 5 boroughs. So while it may not in this first iteration be as deep in having like so many people in one community represented, the hope is that really, I think, what Dwayne said is like realizing that there's someone in Queens, in Staten Island, all over doing this similar sort of community work, and just like really kind of opening up more of those pathways and connections in our minds, and also like in relationships.
Okay. All right, in the interest of time, we have a few other things to cover. I think we're gonna have to do a follow-up. And I'm recommending that the committee approve this particular activity. And then we want to keep in contact with you to develop what further public arts that can be done. And because actually we have one project we are trying to work, I just wanted to this, you could be very helpful to us, which we are calling Art in the Schoolyard, where we're trying to do murals in most of the school within the community board. So we're trying to put together that whole project together. So my recommendation is that the committee approve this, and then we should have further conversation to see how can we work together as a group. I mean, as the group can work with this community, but on an ongoing basis. And I'm also
Okay.
want to take the opportunity to invite you on June 3rd to our community board fair, where you could have a table to more or less present your project. I don't know if, so if you, I can, since we have an email address, I will email you, or you could check our community board site and register for our community fair, where you could start. So you'll have a lot of people coming in where you could say, this is what we're going to happen in this community. Okay.
Is there an email that we can send our emails?
Yes, you could
to,
send
or-
it to, you could send the email to the board. Khalil, you wanna, since we don't have a chat, well, we could say, what is it, BK09?
Yes, so, hello?
Go ahead.
Yes.
Yes, so the email address is bk09-1@cb.nyc.gov.
That's cb.ny.gov.
Okay.
Excellent.
-11.
We will send.
Can you repeat it, Khalid?
Yes,
Mhm.
bk09-1@cb.nyc.gov.
Excellent, thank you. We'll send an email with both and CC both of us, and also a link to our website for the project so that you can read a little bit more about it in depth if you wish.
Mhm. I did go and look
And,
at your
please-
website. I look at your
Nick-
website already, so, but please send it so everybody can
Excellent.
have access to it. Yeah, okay.
Okay, Nicholas.
Go ahead. Mhm, go ahead.
Just along the laws for open meeting laws, you are not allowed yet, as the chair of this committee, you're not allowed to present a motion. You are not allowed to second a motion. So someone else from the floor needs to
No,
make this motion.
I didn't make the motion yet, so I would love for somebody to make a motion for that stuff.
Okay, I will help you out. I'll make a motion that we take the consideration for this project, such as we understand it, to the executive board to vote on it in a positive fashion, so that they can move forward and get any permits that are required for this event to go forward in February. Khalil, you got the gist of that?
You understand?
You want me to say it again? You need me to, you got it? You want to
I'm
read it
okay,
back
I
to
got it.
Anissa? Can you read it back so we know that you got, give us a hint that you got it?
Okay, say Julia Bryan makes a motion to take consideration for this project to take the executive board to vote in a positive way for this project. But
Is
I
there, okay, I think is there a second?
Yeah.
Let's get somebody to second it and then we'll vote.
Oh, I'll second. Sorry, I was on mute.
Okay, it's seconded by Courtney Lazel. All in favor, signify by saying aye, either raising your hand or saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Any abstention? Well, we could make a note. Motion has been approved to recommend for a positive act of the executive board, the Hay Neighbor Project. So thank you for being here. You are welcome to stay to be part of the rest of our meeting. And then we're going to move on to the next part of the agenda. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Just
so much.
one quick follow-up question is, should we wait to hear back from you all about the executive committee before we move forward in putting together the permit for the plaza, or should we kind of work on preparing that? Just to make sure that we're clear.
I think the community board, being a government agency, can work with you to get all this stuff done. Because our community board is between New York City agencies and the community. So once they approve it, then we could help you for whatever necessary to get the permit. So we will get back to you to say, well, this is approved, because our executive board is next week and our general board one is the week after. So we'll say by the beginning of next month, we should know exactly what we're doing. We should get a final decision on it. Okay.
Great. Sounds great.
So,
Thank you so
okay.
much.
Okay, thank you for.
Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Good, okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Dwayne. Okay, let's move on to the. I'm sorry. Let's go back to the agenda.
Public commentary.
Yes, public commentary is the next thing. Okay, are there any public commentary for today? Anybody has any public commentary? It could come from anyone.
I just have one statement that I'd like to make. It's not exactly under the purview of this committee, but it is under the purview of street furniture. There is a move and a motion that is being presented to the general executive board that there is a moratorium on the G5 towers.
Right.
And that anybody who is on the executive board and has the ability to vote, I suggest that you vote no, that we continue to have a moratorium on these towers. These towers have been proven, have not been proven to be not carcinogenic. They're giving off radiation, and giving off radiation, there are going to be cameras on it, and there's going to be audio, which means that we will be living in the world of Big Brother within months if this were to happen. You could have conversations on the street that could be recorded by whatever government official wants to listen to what you have to say. And furthermore, the radiation issue is more than I can tolerate. And if anyone has any further questions, I have a map of all the proposed, installed, and approved towers, and I could send it to you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, so anything else? So this is quite a hot topic, I would say, the installation of those towers, and I think community board, whenever it comes, we need to look into the science and the data to see what's going to happen, what are going to be the effects of these towers. So, all right, are there any other public commentary? Seeing none, let's move on to Park and Cultural Liaison reports. Let's talk about community garden and the Brooklyn Botanical Garden. So, Julia or Brenda, anything you'd like to say about what we've been working on?
Oh, sure. We're still working to try and get a meeting with, a follow-up meeting rather, with the Brooklyn Botanic Garden. Also, communicating with the other community gardens. I wrote a letter to Maple Street Community Garden asking for their information because they're already working with, God, I think it's Collective Kind, the Montessori group.
Mhm.
So we wanted to find out how that's going and what their needs are, whatever they're spending money on, whatever they're providing to the school group. Is it just space? Is it material? Is it seeds? Is it tools? What is it? And what would be of help, to give to the community garden from perhaps Brooklyn Botanic Garden, whether that be instruction, training, lessons, site visits, things of that nature. So I've emailed one of the ladies who's at Maple Street Community Garden. She responded this morning.
Yes.
She's away on vacation, so it's gonna be another round of waiting for another couple of days, a week or so before we can get more details from her.
Mhm.
And I believe Julia's reached out to Ethan Lustig so that we could schedule a meeting.
Mhm.
I did.
Yes, you did.
And that was, I talked to him on the 8th, and he said that he would get back to Nicholas.
Yes.
So, okay.
All right, to that end, he has not gotten back to me yet. Hopefully he'll get back to me within the next couple of days. Me on my part, I reached out to a couple of schools. There's a school called Base, which is associated with Botanical Garden. I had a talk with the principal. I reached out to the International High School. I spoke to one of I didn't get to speak to the principal, she was busy, but I want to try again, whom I have some relationship with. But I did speak with one of her people under her. They have an officer who's somebody who's responsible for branding and for public relations for the school. And we discussed, I told her about what we're trying to do. We have yet to reach some of the other schools, the PS21 and so other stuff. So I'm hopefully we'll make some connection with them within this week coming up, and then we're hoping we'll get that next meeting with the Botanical Garden. But I think what we need in this process, I don't know, we may need one or two people on the committee who have good writing skills to see if we could start putting what we have our vision into a written document. So that way with all the points there, because we have the few meetings we have, so we have developed quite a lot of ideas. And I think we do have another meeting scheduled tomorrow at 11.
No,
I think that was the understanding, that we were going to meet this Friday at 11 to continue on our discussion of the group that's been working with the community garden.
I'm not available tomorrow at 11.
Oh, okay. Ms. Briggs, you want to chime in? So if not, we may have to postpone it for another day.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, just give me the date, because I already spoke with the person that I told you that I would speak with, it, which is Rosie, as well as Carlos. So hopefully I would like for them to sit in with us, if that's all right with you.
Oh, yes, that'd be my. So we can just get together and find out a convenient date for the subcommittee, so the subgroup. That's
All right, because I will be going, all right, let me know. I'll be going away on the 18th until like the 22nd. So,
yeah, I was thinking of one day next week. So why don't we do that?
The 8th is Thursday.
Okay, so if we could quickly look at our calendar, maybe we could do it right now. So we don't get that done, and then we'll move on to the next topic. So Brenda, are you suggesting Thursday? Thursday is crazy.
I'm suggesting we do it before Thursday if possible, because Ms. Briggs is going away on Thursday.
Yeah, well, Wednesday, the 18th is good for me.
Thursday
And
is the 18th.
the 17th is good for me at the 11 o'clock AM hour like we did before. Is
Okay.
that good for you, Julia? And
In the morning, yeah.
11 AM in the morning, because we're supposed to meet at 11 tomorrow. Okay. So why don't we put it for Wednesday?
Okay.
Wednesday, the
So-
18th, right?
No, Wednesday is the 17th.
That's the 17th. I will speak with Rosie and Carlos tomorrow, just to confirm the
Oh,
17th.
Wednesday. Yeah, in the morning, 17th, anytime
17th.
before 12, I'm good.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, let's do it for 11. I think that worked for all of us. the
Okay,
last
that's
time.
it. Okay,
Alright.
yeah.
So we're good to go on this, and then let's move on to the neighborhood park assessment visit schedule. One of the two people that were working, one of them is in a funeral. He couldn't make the meeting today,
Mm.
but I can give you a report. So let me switch over to what's been happening in there. So let me switch my screen. Okay. If y'all can see my screen, y'all can see my screen now?
Oh, yeah, okay.
All right, you see the triangle is called Russell D. Ramsey Mill Triangle. Okay, this is what we had sent to Department of Parks. And we had sent them the date. They said they could not accommodate those dates. The date they gave us is the 31st, Wednesday, the 31st, from 11 to 3, actually from 12 to 3.
Okay.
The board commissioner will come first, and they say they can accommodate 10 people for us to go to the different
Oh,
parks. Okay?
So they have a vehicle to
They
drive.
will have a vehicle to drive us up to 10 people. I think I got to get back to them because I think they're doing both Community Board 8 and Community Board 9. So I want to get some precision on that. Okay, the action item to do with this is the subgroup have developed a assessment tool, which I think I might be able to share, and a list of questions that we also developed. If anybody's interested, we wanted to do part of it ourselves on one of those Saturdays. So anybody's ready to do that, we'll do it on a Saturday and for ourselves, and then we'll do it again with the commission on the 31st. So that's the suggestion we're working in. So we probably want to look at April 22nd.
no, not April,
May?
May.
No. This is the old stuff. It's supposed to be May. Now, this is the old schedule we sent them. They said they couldn't do it. So if we're looking at May, we have May 20th and May 27th, because I wanted to do it in 2 days so we don't take two form for 2 hours, so we don't take too much of our time. So we can go as a group and do some of it ourselves. Let me see if I could bring back this schedule.
So what's going on the 31st?
The 31st is the official date for the Parks Department to go with us.
But you don't want to do the parks on the 31st? You want to do them before?
No, actually, I want to do it before and on the 31st. We could do it ourselves, because when we asked them for a assessment tool, they said they could not share it with us. So we develop our own. So this is the kind of things we're going to, let me see, let me make this big. This is the different area we're going to be looking for, if you guys can see. And David came with a list of questions. Okay, I want to try to look for this as a question also. So in this particular area, for example, if we go to the playground, we can go and do the rating. So in this, I'll come with my computer. We look at the swing when we're going to give it a rating. We go to the restroom. Same thing, we give it a rating. So we're going to go do that ourselves. So the different area that's involved in the park are the playground, the restroom, the playing field, if there's any. In some places you have basketball court, some places you have soccer pitch, the maintenance, the landscaping. And some of this information we probably will get it from you, the kind of programming that happened inside that park, the signage that's in the park, the safety and security, the lighting, the cameras, and what kind of monitoring that's done, and if there were, and look for any broken and any hazard, which is the broken unsafe area and broken equipment. So this is a tool that we have where we could document as we walk what we see and what we observe. So
So
that's
the-
Mhm.
in the, perhaps in the comment section is where, because of rating like good or excellent,
Mhm.
fair, or poor, is a start, but it doesn't say what's wrong, what
Yeah,
specific.
no, the comment section, we'll put the comments in there. We could put more explicit on exactly what we are saying. If let's say we give a rating of poor, we have to explain why it is poor. And that goes into the comment section,
Yes, great.
okay? So let's see, one more thing I want to show you. So let's see.
Nicholas,
Mhm.
we're running out of time.
Yeah, I'm very conscious of the time. So, but we have a list of questions that I could share with people, anybody who's interested in coming with us, we'll do that, okay? So with that, let's go back to the next.
The next, what is the next item on the agenda?
Yeah, the next item on the next
Prospect Park
liaison.
Alliance.
Prospect Park
Yeah.
Alliance, so we'd like to report for that. And then
Did anybody go to the
The
meeting?
Alliance, oh, sorry.
Courtney.
I did not go to the last meeting. I know they were planning summer stewardship and a safety week next fall, but I don't have any details. I don't know if someone else was able to attend.
And I did attend, but I don't have everything in my head. But
Marley's got her hand up.
yeah, there will be next week, they are reopening the Lefferts Matter House. They're having a
Oh.
ribbon cutting at
Good.
12 o'clock on the 19th. If you would like to attend, I got the invitation. I think anybody can show up and do that. So I do get a summary of the meeting from Deborah Kushner. I'll look it up and try and make it available for people. Okay?
Marley, did you attend? I think Marley had her hand up.
Yeah, go ahead, Marley. Mhm.
Yes, the only other thing I think that would be relevant to add, like you said, Lefferts is, I passed by today, it looked open, but yes, it's officially opening,
Finally.
18th, 19th. But they will also be having events open to the public,
Okay.
in May,
Mhm.
celebrating. I can try to find it from Deborah as well, but I think it might be very interesting for everyone.
Okay, I remember there is the ribbon cutting on the 19th, in which the Commissioner of Park will be there, and on the 21st, they have a series of all cultural activity right there at the Prospect from 1 to about 6 p.m. on the 21st.
Yes,
So
the
these are the-
Pinkster
Pinkster,
celebration at
Right,
Sun.
exactly, at the manor, yeah. Mhm.
Marley, have you, when you said you've seen it lately, have they taken that ugly fence down? No?
Honestly, they've moved quick. So I passed it on my way into work, the outside, but I went from the inside on my way out of work tonight, and there no fence. There were like people, the door was open, people were hanging out, and I assume people who work there, but you would have never known.
That there was a fence there?
Yeah, that there was, yes. I think the outside fence might still be there because I'm a little sleepy on my way into work. I don't clock it that well, but from inside the park, it's.
Oh, from the inside of the, okay, so, but, So it looks like it always looked like it was accessible. Is that what you're saying? It looks very accessible now.
It looks like, yes, like there's no fence. It's just, you know, like a teeny fence, like a, what's that, white picket fence almost type.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, and it's all
Okay, cool.
open. Yeah.
Cool, okay. Because that was part of, they made a survey and that was our complaint to them is the fence. So I'm pleased to hear. Okay, can we continue to move on? Thank you,
Yeah.
everybody, for the
All right,
Prospect Park.
this is Prospect Park. So let's move on. What, Brooklyn Museum?
I'm
Naima?
not Brooklyn.
Naima?
Okay,
Is
I'm
she still
here.
here?
Yeah, I'm here. So I've been in touch with Laval over at the Brooklyn Museum. And she was scheduled to present to the general board the same presentation that she gave us a couple months ago. She was scheduled to present in May, but she has to go out of town. So she's rescheduling that for June, but she is committed to showing up to provide that presentation. The other thing is that I've reached out to her to let her know that we're having the fair at the park on June 3rd, and I haven't heard back yet about the Brooklyn Museum's participation, but I do realize that it's the same day as First Saturday, so they may already be overcommitted, but we'll see if they participate. I will reach out to her again, just asking for their participation. But that's it as far as the partner updates at this time.
Mhm. Thank you. Anything else, Marley, from Prospect, WCS Prospect Park Zoo?
We're still continuing with, you know, learning with them from the community. And we will be at the June 3rd community fair. I will be there, either me or my supervisor, because we have that and the Maple Street Community Garden Fair at the same time, but we're gonna make it work and we're excited to be at both. Hoping for no rain.
Let's not go. Anything else?
Oh,
Um,
I contact,
Go ahead, go ahead.
I've contacted BAM regarding the fair, and it's at the same time as their Dance Africa, and they're also over committed. So I don't expect them to be there either.
Well, I think the problem with the fair, we have seen happen last year, we really started too late. And want to present to the committee here. The first meeting in September, I would love to craft together a resolution where we would fix the calendar for the fair very early. So that way we won't be rushing at the end, because right now, the youth committee has found somebody to provide sound and music, but they require about $2,000. So we're looking about way to raise the money. But the board most likely the money they have available will be mostly to provide the participant with tables and chairs to put there whatever each of the vendors. Also, this is also getting into discussion of the community fair. If you know any organization, I think it's still possible they could still register. I mean, I think they're still looking for food vendors. I reach out to a couple of people that want to be bringing art, and I reach out specifically to PLG Art, which could be a great to contact most of the visual artists they have in there. They would like to participate, so that flyers. So if you know any artists or any craft people that would like to become a vendor, send them, email them the flyer where they could click on the link and register. The registration is somewhat still open, okay, because there's still some space, okay. And part C, other music in the community board, I think this is a work in progress. Sports and recreation is also a work in progress, because I think we need more people. One of the things I want to touch on that, there was the community board now is close to about 49 people. We had a whole slew of new board members that are coming in September. So we're probably going to get a lot more board members. So if you know anybody who's interested in letting the community know what's happening in terms of art and music in the community, please encourage them to come and join our committee or attend the meeting. And the same thing for sports and recreation. Okay. With that, I think we are already covering most of the things. The main thing now is the fair. There are administrative plan meetings that are being put together to get most of the logistics works out. And hopefully we'll get a beautiful fair. Hopefully it doesn't rain. And also I reached Prospect High School. I was there yesterday trying to get a space, access for fair participant, both vendors and staff and member of the committee to have access in terms of if they want to use the restroom, and that's what we do. But most of this logistic will be worked out by the administrative staff at the community board. Okay.
Okay, I want to point out that the next time we have a meeting, the fair will have already happened. So this is the last meeting before
This
the
is the
fair.
last meeting. But I encourage any organization. I mean, I hope to see MTOP with a table there to put the information. And this is the kind of activity that should come out too. So you could reach out to them, Julia, and let them register for a table.
Okay,
All right. So and if you know any visual artists, painters, craftspeople, jewelry makers, craft makers, booksellers, or whatever, encourage them to register. So we need to see what's happening because the resource fair, the Health and Social Service Committee will be handling a lot of the hospitals and all of those health-related situations. And sometimes they did food distribution. So I haven't reached out to them to see if they're going to be able to do the same thing they did last year. So they gave out a lot of fresh vegetable and some stuff that was donated. So we'll combine that. Youth committee is going to bring internship and career possibility for young people. And hoping we're going to have good music on the stage. I don't know to what point, because one of the things I wanted to do is also recognize people in the community by getting proclamation from the city. Be the board president.
Too late.
It's too late.
Too late.
It takes about a month, and that's the reason this planning for this fair should start from in September with specific target date for each of these. Because the same thing happened last year, because for some reason it escaped me, and then before I realized it, we only have 4 weeks to go. So this is something we should put as part of the agenda for our first meeting in September. Okay?
good deal. Okay.
And
Old
anybody
minute?
else? Mhm.
I don't have
there-
any old business.
Are there any old business? Oh, we did pretty good. Are there any new business? Well, somebody can make a motion to adjourn. And I'll reach out to both subcommittees so where we could meet again and do further work. So we've already set one for the 17th at 11. And I'll speak to the other people working on the parks and vacation visit. We probably will be meeting in between that too. Somebody make a motion to adjourn. I cannot make it.
I make a motion that we adjourn tonight's meeting.
I second it.
Motion to adjourn is always an order. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So good night, everyone.
All right, good night.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for everybody's time.
Good time, yes.
Good night,
absolutely.
everyone.
Night.
Good night. See you later.
So 8:32, 8:32, meeting adjourned at 8:32 p.m.